This is the part where I'm faking like the music's going. Toms are about here. All right, how's everybody out there tonight? We had another exciting week in the No Control Zone. I'm really excited about this week. We have Ryan Donovan from the East Coast Brewers is joining us. Dono, how you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you betcha. So what we want to do now is we want to let the other owners in the NCZ know a little bit about you. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, maybe tell a little bit about yourself, and everybody get to know you a little bit better. So where were you born? Start with that kind of stuff.
All right. Well, I was born in Cape Breton. I currently live in Nova Scotia. I'm an East Coaster, born and bred. I was in the military for 10 and a half years. That's how I know you and Al and Gran. You're the only three guys in the pool I know. I know Marsh too. I was in Moose Jaw from 07 to 2014.
Good time.
I got out and joined the RCMP, and they sent me back to Nova Scotia, really close to where I grew up. And I'm just loving life. I got a four-year-old daughter.
Nice.
13-year-old stepdaughter, and life is good.
All right, back on the East Coast. That makes our league going coast to coast, which I kind of like anyway. So who's your favorite hockey team? Not that I don't know, but
I got the Blackhawks. I represent New Jersey.
Yeah,
been a Hawks fan since I was 5 years old, and I got to see 3 Stanley Cups, so can't complain. And they're having a good year. 4 in a row. I was thinking about that the other day.
That was awesome.
We'll never see 4 in a row.
No, I don't think so.
Ever again.
Not in the salary cap world.
No.
Too hard to do.
Yeah.
That was crazy times. Can you believe it? By about the 4th one in a row, I was actually starting to get a little bored, though. I'm serious. I remember thinking that. Now I hate myself for ever thinking that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, why did I think that? Because they sucked for 30 years.
Yeah.
So would you say who would you say your biggest rival in the NCZ is?
My biggest rival.
Who do you want to beat? Who do you want to beat the most?
I just want to make the playoffs, to be honest.
Didn't you do good the first year?
Yeah, the
very first year.
And there was a year, Terry, where I missed the draft.
That's
and
right.
It
killed you.
And I've been struggling ever since.
Yeah, I remember that. That
if
was
I had
like
to pick
year
one
4.
Person,
year 4, I think. I think that was year 4.
Yeah.
Fucked you up.
Yeah, if I had to pick one person that I would take pleasure in beating, it would be
Al. Everybody wants to beat Al. Good old likable Al.
I love the guy. He's great. But he can definitely dish it out. So sometimes you just gotta check to see if he can take it.
Oh yeah, he can dish it out all right. So who do you think is going to win the NCZ this year?
Well, if I had to power rank, and I was looking at this earlier, and to go top 3, I would go Bears, Yager, Lakers. And I'm not, I know it sounds because the Oilers are there and Al's team is there. And if I were doing top 5, that would be the top 5. But just looking at them on paper, I can't bet against this Bears team.
Yeah, I know. Dan looked so strong this week. So strong.
He looks strong, and he's got players that are sneaky good, like Couturier. I think Mark Stone should be in the MVP conversation.
Well, that guy's the perfect guy you're looking for in the fantasy leagues, right?
Yeah.
Like he'll get you pins, he'll get you good plus minus, good points. He's always there.
I mean, Marc-Andre Fleury is almost a senior citizen, and his numbers are. Yeah. They might even be better than Vasilevsky's right now.
It's like Dan's guaranteed a shutout a week from Fleury.
Yeah. So I mean, I have it between those. I have Yager coming out of the Langway division, and the Bossy division is just so tight. Like I've been stuck with a decent team in a really tough division for quite a few years now. So it's hard to say, but those would be my top 3 power rankings.
Well, I think we were talking about this last week. There's no doubt the Bossy division has been the toughest division right from the get-go. I think there is, I guess the year the Keith won for the Mustangs, that maybe that division was okay. But like I said, it's always the Bossy division's 5th place team trying to get the wild card team. It's never the other way around in that. So it's tough to win in the Bossy. Of course, we are Renee, so that never helps. So one last question before we get going. Who would you say your easiest and your hardest trading partners are?
Ooh, easiest trading partner is Keith.
Keith, does he give you, do you guys come out with square deals right off the bat?
Yeah, like,
hardly
I mean,
any
this year
negotiating?
we made 2 deals, and I mean, I said, what do you want for Pavelski? He said a second, which is what I had in mind. I was hoping he would say third, but I thought second is fair.
Yep.
And then we made I wanted to sell my first for a player.
Yeah.
And so I offered him, I said, would you be willing to do Landeskog? And I actually thought he might say no. And he said, let me think about it. And he came back with a yes. And I still think it's a fair deal, 3 years of Landeskog for a first pick. So I would say Keith has been easy to make trades with.
Yeah.
The hardest, I wouldn't say anyone is unfair or difficult. I mean, I think people just value things differently.
You remember when Ryan Driscoll was here, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't say anybody was hard to trade with. Man, I had 4-week negotiations with him, and then when I finally said yes, he goes, "Oh no, let me think about it."
See, that's the thing. I don't know you guys well enough. Like, I'm not. I wish I was in those negotiation type things.
Yeah.
I think if I had to pick one, not knowing everyone very well, I think Wes has a high value on what he's selling.
Yep. Yeah.
Which is, it's fair. Like,
So you don't know Wes, right?
I don't know Wes, no.
Yeah, Wes is good shit. Yeah, it's good dude. So Wes, well, that's kind of what I'm hoping to do here, is that we get to know each other on these videos and whatnot, and that hopefully maybe we can text each other, or at least feel a little more comfortable texting. Like, I know there's only one person in the whole league that I don't know is Bo, and I want to get to know him because I don't go and text Bo because I don't know Bo.
Yeah.
Right. But I want to.
This is great because, I mean, I usually put out my number. I don't know if I did this year, but if anyone ever has an offer or wants to text me, anytime.
Right on. That's good to hear. And you guys,
I legitimately, Terry, wake up at 3 a.m. to make sure that I won when I thought I won and there was no stat corrections, because I love this pool. It's great.
Donna used to watch the Hawks win the cup. I think you were in Afghanistan at the time. You'd be getting up at 3, 4 in the morning to watch them. They won that year, right?
Yeah, they won that year.
I'm pretty sure they won that year.
Yeah,
so
I was over there with Al.
Donna is not a bandwagon because they won 3 cups Chicago Blackhawks fan. I can vouch for him, let you know that he was a Blackhawks fan well before that.
Since I was 5 or 6 years old.
How did you become a Hawks fan?
I'll tell you, it's a funny story. My parents split up when I was like 1. My dad's a huge Maple Leaf fan. My mom did not want me to.
Sorry to hear that. Good mom.
My mom didn't want me to be a Maple Leaf fan, so she went to the store specifically to get me hockey paraphernalia that wasn't Toronto Maple Leaf.
That's awesome.
The only one that was on sale was a Blackhawk jersey.
Well, I can't really remember how old you are, but when I was young, there was only about 3, 4 teams you could buy. Boston, Chicago.
I'm 40, so this would have been late 80s.
Yeah, well, you could buy other ones.
And my mother liked the emblem.
Yeah, I do too.
So she's like, I'll get him this. And when she got me this jersey, it was the home, back when the home jerseys were white.
Yeah.
And so
I still like that better.
I saw it on TV and I'm like, that's my team.
Oh, really? And then
I've been a fan ever since.
That is sweet. That is sweet. So who was on the team when you would have first started? Larmer and all those guys?
Larmer, Jeremy Roenick came in 90s. He was early 90s. He was my favorite. Ed Belfour, Chelios, Gary Sutter.
Yeah. I remember those.
Dirk Graham, the guy with rocking the mustache.
That's right. All right. Well, now that we've gotten to know you, I guess we're going to jump into this. And do you realize that you're the first Bossy co-host here? So I finally got a compatriot with me. I'm talking to all these Langway guys. So we're going to talk about the Bossy division first. We'll be right back in 1 second. We're back and we're going to jump into the Bossy division. I'm here with Ryan Donovan from the East Coast Brewers. And this is the first person from the Bossy division to co-host this week in the zone. So I'm pretty excited about that. So let's just jump right into it. No change at the top. New Brunswick Bears leading the pack. They're 13-1-2 for 29 points. The only thing is, that girl is so good at giving me the time. The Bears are 13-1-2 for 29 points, but now they sit alone on top of the no control zone. Had a great week at 2-0, and the biggest game of all was Bears 4, Capitals 3. That was huge, but it got just as big for the next one, the Battle of the Bossy between the Bears and Lakers, and that one was Bears 6, Lakers 1.
Yeah, this was a statement week, I think, for the Bears. 48 points. They had very good goaltending. Beat two contenders, like two top contenders. I mean, I think if the final wound up being Lakers versus Capitals, I don't think anyone would really bat an eye. And the Bears Lakers had not a great week, but just what the Bears ended up doing. I mean, Kane had a good week. McDavid did not have a good week, which actually says something because when your best player doesn't have a great week and you beat two of the top contenders, I think that really says something. The only question I have about the Bears is they have Fleury and then they have three backup goalies. So as long as they get production out of them, I think they'll be all right. But yeah, it was a good week for the Bears.
But have you noticed the one thing about the Bears is that they seem to be they're winning a lot. Like Dan will get one game at a Grubauer, like at 960 and a win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of times he's. It seems to me that he's only getting points from Grubauer, and so we'll have to see up until then. Let's take a look
They
at.
traded for Mrazek, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that should help. Mrazek was playing well before he left this year, so let's take a look at this. This would be the Bears and the Lakers. So, wow, 48 points to 35. That was eight goaltender points. You can see this, Donald?
Yep, I can see that.
Okay. Wow, 8 goalie points, 945 save percentage. I mean, that was plus 35.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I didn't even notice that. It's the first time I've seen it. Oh my God, that's gross, Dan. Holy smokes. But where was the biggest game here would have been the Caps and the Bears. So there's Al. Let's see how Al hung in there.
Al gave him a fight.
Wow. Yeah, 49 points. So yeah, it looks like the goal.
It's a good week by Al, man. When you have a week like that and you lose, that's tough.
Yeah. He's been playing really well this year. I think you're pretty much right in the teams that are going to be going in probably those 5 teams. Maybe throw in don't underestimate the Colorado Rangers. Colorado Rangers, I'm telling you, now that they're back to full strength too, they might be doing better.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so we're going into second place now. We're going to talk about the Calgary Oilers, and the Calgary Oilers went up a spot this week. They're 11 wins, 3 losses, and 2 ties for 24 points. They had a good week going 2-0. Oilers beat the Flying Colors 4-3, and they beat the Bruins easily 6-1.
Yeah, 2-0 for the Oilers. They picked up Draisaitl. They picked up Draisaitl this year, right? They traded for him.
Yep, there he is.
Yeah.
But he really didn't do that much last week. He only got him 2 points, 4 penalty minutes.
Well, was that
plus?
I didn't play the Maple Leafs this week, but was this the week that the Leafs stomped them?
Was that was the week before, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I
think it was the week before.
Into this week.
It might have at the end. But look at the goaltending here between the Oilers and Flying Colors. Looks like that decided the game.
Yeah.
That decided the game right there. 1/100th of a decimal there, Garrow. And you could have been laughing in my face about the fancy stats if you had won this one. But yeah, Blake won the one he needed. So he went 2-0. So he beat Flying Colors. And who else did he get there? He got the Bruins. Well, the Bruins, no need to even look that up because they're not even pretty much putting out a team. So yeah, pretty much swept them across the board.
Yeah. I think the Bruins are probably happy about that.
Oh, I think they're more than happy about it. We'll be talking about them with their 12-game losing streak, that's for sure. But a bit of a surprise to me, dropping down into third place and dropping a spot was the Harrison Lakers this week. They're now 11-5 for 22 points, and they had a huge upset loss this week. They went 0-2 this week after being so strong for the last couple of weeks to catch up to the group. But they lost to you, Donald. They lost 4-3 to you, the Bears lost to the Lakers.
Yeah.
Bears beat the Lakers 6-1. Yeah, and lost to Grand Sealand HC 4-3. That was the biggest loss of the bunch. 0-2 is enough to drop them down to a spot into third place.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, that's a tough loss. And I mean, HC, they're rebuilding. but they have good goaltending. So if you get good goaltending, you can knock off
Oh
a
yeah,
team
for
that's
sure.
supposedly better than you.
Well, it looks
I
like
mean,
Renee had a tough week here. Like you're looking at the
yeah,
Bears here, his goaltending really let him down. Usually Hellbuck's really good. And
yeah.
one of Renee's staples is usually that he always has good goaltending.
Mhm.
And that's one of the reasons why Renee wins so much. But he took a hit on his goaltending this week at 855 with 2 points for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, 35 points isn't bad, but not going to beat 48.
No.
That's for
No, when
sure.
your save percentage is 855,
Yeah.
that's tough. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I let him down. But even with good goaltending, Dan right across the board basically had him. Dan had a fantastic week. Really
Yeah.
dominated.
Yeah. Not a lot you can do there.
Yeah,
Come up
and
with a juggernaut.
who would have stayed in fourth place, but none other than yourself, the East Coast Brewers at 9-6-1 for 19 points. However, the Brewers had a huge upset loss this week, and I mean a huge upset loss, and they went 0 for 2. Or correction, 0 for 2, but they lost to the lowly Islanders 4-3, and the Rangers gave them a good battle and beat them 5-2. But losing to the Islanders, Donald, come on, man,
I
come
know.
on.
Listen,
Look
the
at
thing that
that.
pissed me off the most, and there was several things that pissed me off.
Do tell.
Every time so when I look at hockey now, it's all in regards to this pool. Like when I check scores at night, I'm looking for my players in this pool.
Absolutely.
Every day I was having a good day. And every time I looked at the score with you, it was tied or you were winning.
Check this
and then
out.
I look at your team and you have
Yanni
Kucherov.
Gretzky right there.
Yeah.
Look at that. 3 goals, 3 assists this week. Good old Yanni Gretzky.
But the thing that pissed me off the most is you had Gaborik and Kucherov playing.
I know.
And I lost to a guy who had 2 people not playing this week.
And well, Tarasenko didn't play till the last game of the week either.
Yeah, exactly. And he was a -2.
Still a point. Yeah, I was like.
So anyway, it was a tough week, and it was a week that I could have made a move on the Lakers.
It was. That was the biggest thing about it, right? Like you're still only 3 points behind the Lakers right now.
Yeah.
But if you had won both those games, you're sitting in third place and only 1 point out of second place. I think first place is out of reach. I think Dan the Man's got that one for sure.
Yeah, I would say so. But
he's taking over.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough week. I had 42 points. I mean,
I was cheering for you. I was.
I appreciate that.
You let me down big time. Well, let's talk about fifth place. What do I say every week about Boston in fifth place? Must have went 1-1. I can only be talking about the Flying Colors with a record of 8-8 for 16 points, sitting at 500. 1-1 for the week, 500 week. Flying Colors beat the Outlaws 4-2, and they also lost to the Oilers 4-3. And that game against the Oilers was actually pretty close. Flying Colors almost won that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, the Flying Colors has a good team, and they're in the sort of spot that I'm in that we're on the bubble of playoff teams.
Yep.
So you definitely don't want to go 0-2 in that spot. And I mean, they put up 37 points, which wasn't enough to beat the Oilers, but
well, yeah, but look at all the places where it could have went wrong. Okay, so 1/100th of on the save percentage.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
1 point, only 3 assists. And wow, it was tight. It could have been Flying Colors game. Blake got lucky.
Yeah.
I would think. Well, Garrow, there you are, 500. I wonder if we'll be talking about you in the fancy stats tonight. So I would say hang around.
I was looking at my screen, Terry, and I was going back to the games, and it just switched over to the next week's matchup. So everybody's 3.5 to 3.5. So.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I'll have to see if I can check the scores.
Got you. All right.
I can see it on your screen, so we're all good.
Perfect. If you want me to scroll down and take a look at any of the players or anything, see someone say, let's, yeah, well, we'll wait till I get to my team. Well, no, we'll wait till you get to my team before I do that. Scroll down with the points I got. I was just shaking my head. It was brutal. Anyway, Garrow, believe it or not, man, you are still in the hunt. So keep her going, and you never know. Still in sixth spot is the Flames of Fleury. And man, what a tough week for the Flames. And I'll tell you why. They're 5-8-3 for 13 points, but they suffered a really bad loss. They went 1-1 for the week. The Flames took care of flying colors, but it was the pack, the Wolf Pack, that they lost to 4-2. But the Flames controlled that game for the entire week, all the way up until Sunday, and then the pack took over.
That's always the worst when you're in control. Sunday night rolls around and then
Yeah.
it falls apart. I've been in there, and it's not a very
I
good
did it too
feeling.
this week.
Yeah, it's not a very good feeling. And I mean, the Flames, I can't remember who they traded, but they got a good team. They just have a couple of guys underperforming, like a Taylor Hall or a Sean Monahan. Maybe expect a little more out of him.
Let's take a look here. Yeah, Taylor Hall. I got to tell you, Taylor Hall sucks. And if anybody signs that guy for any more than $5 million a year next year in the NHL, they're nuts.
Yeah. Now he's cost himself a lot of money.
Nuts.
Yeah. He was going to be a $12 million player.
Yeah, yeah. If I was Taylor Hall right now, I would be going to Buffalo and say, you know what? Let's talk extension.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to take another 7 years at 8. I'm freaking right. I'd be on it because I seriously wouldn't offer that guy 5. He's got Monahan. Monahan's been doing good. Oh, Tommy Wilson always does good in that department there. But yeah,
he's got a solid team.
Yep, it's solid. But I guess he's losing Wilson for another 6 games. So
yeah,
that's gonna hurt. But this game was huge. He had to beat the Wolfpack.
Yes.
If he had to beat the Wolfpack this year or this game, I guess we'll talk about it a little later by the time we come to the Wolfpack games. But man, this was huge implications in the playoffs for West, and we'll explain a little more about that as we go on. All right, so not dropping into 7th place, but in the same spot as they were last week was Pitter Patter, and they're 5-10-1 for 11 points, and they had a bad loss. And when I say a bad loss, I mean a bad win. They went 1-1 for the week, and it was Pitter Patter and the Mustangs. They came out of the gate racing like snails. I mean, they were at like about 5 points each up around till like Thursday or something, right? And then finally they started getting points. But anyway, Steve took over and he won that game, beat the Mustangs 5-2, which I know he didn't want to do. And the Flames barely took care of Pitter Patter 4-3.
Yeah, they both had 33 points. It was a tight week for Pitter Patter, Mr. Steve Grant. Yeah, he's set up for the future though. He's got 3 number 1 picks. So
yeah, looking good for and it's definitely his goaltending was solid this week at 9.1 and 6 points. That was good.
I'm a big Mackenzie Blackwood fan, so I don't know if he had a great week this week. I think he had one stinker, but
Steve's putting him on the bench this week.
Yeah,
he's going down. Oh, look at that. Somebody texting me. Somebody likes me. Yeah, so he's putting Mackenzie Black. He's trying to get down there into the bottom 4 there. But yeah, that one with winning, where is it? Where is the one, the Mustangs? Right there. There we go. So yeah, the goaltending did it, man. His goaltending was just too solid. Look at Keith's goals, 17 goals. Wow.
That's not bad for someone who puts up 27 points there.
Not bad at all. And then, of course, that brings us down to 8th. And I've been in the basement basically the entire season. And I had a rough week this week. And I had a rough week because of you, Dono. I'm so pissed off at you. So the Courtney Islanders, they're in the same spot they were last week, and 8th spot in the Bossy division, but now are 3 wins, 12 losses, 1 tie for 7 points. And they had a bad win against East Coast Brewers. They basically were losing or tied to them the entire week, but then by Sunday night, they absolutely took over. And their 47 points seem to dominate them, get them into 1-1 for the week. But good old Nick took care of the Islanders 5-1 when MLJ kicked the crap out of me.
Yeah, well, I mean, you had a good week, Terry. I mean, you had 2 guys on the bench, and what did you, 47 points?
47 points.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Look
quite
at the
impressive.
plus minus. Look at the plus minus.
Yeah, I know, 23. I mean, I think I was, oh, there it is. I was plus 15, which is usually good for a win in that category.
For sure. 37 assists. That's let's see, a lot of teams didn't get 37 points.
No.
37 assists. Let's just take a little look at those. So it's actually pretty hilarious. Barzell for, but Like a Jamie Benn, when does he get 10-minute misconduct? Never. 3 points. Forsberg, 7 points. 7 points from Forsberg.
Yeah.
I mean, 6 points from Gord, 4 from Niederreiter, 5 points from Vichu. Oh my God. It just goes on and on. My defense, it just killed me.
No, and I mean, like I said, I had a good week. Every time
You
I
did.
looked, my
You
guys were
did.
playing really well, and
Yeah, you did.
sometimes it just happens.
It's unfortunate that you went 0-2 this week. It really is, because you really had a chance to jump into the thick of things. But I would say you're pretty much, for sure, at the minimum, going to get that 4th spot. But
Well, I hope
you
so.
you could possibly get 3rd or even 2nd.
I
for
missed
that
the.
matter.
Sorry, I didn't
No,
mean to
go
cut you
ahead.
off. I
No,
missed the playoffs last year. I was 22-20, and the Sunday night, the last night, I had a chance, and I didn't make it. So it's
Oh
heartbreaking
yeah,
when
yeah, I
you're
remember it
close.
now. Yep, I remember
Yeah.
that. That was a good one. All right, let's take a look at the standings then. So there we got the Bears up at 13-1-2, the Oilers 11-3-2, Lakers 11-5-0, Brewers at 9-6-1, Flying Colors at 8-8, Flames of Fleury 5-8-3, Pitter Patter 5-10-1, and the Islanders bringing up the rear at 13-12-1. What do you think? Is there going to be some movement here? If there's any movement, it's going to be in the top 4.
Yeah. It's hard to say. I have a tough week. I think I'm playing the Flames and the Oilers. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I have a chance to make a move on the Oilers. I mean, I'm a few points back. So,
Well, in all honesty, Blake's games the last 2 weeks have been really close, and he's pretty much had to come back to win them all.
yeah.
And so he hasn't been having the best of weeks, like not solid overall. Like he might get 40 points, which helps him out for the win. You know what I mean? But maybe his goaltending let him down that week, or vice versa. So you never know. You might have a good shot with catching the Oilers. I'd say you're still in the run for 2nd place. First is out of touch.
I'll say this. I hope there's no movement, because if there is, I think the only movement will be the Flying Colors passing.
Get out of here.
So,
you know what? It actually wouldn't surprise me right
if he
now.
goes 2-0 and I go 0-2, he would jump over me. So let's hope there's no movement.
He almost went 2-0 this week.
Yeah.
He did. Like that's crazy. Carol, you must be just laughing your ass off while you're watching this. That's so funny. All right, so that takes care of the Bossy division. We're going to be right back with the Langway division in a second. All right, so now it's time for us to take a look at the Langway division. I'm just going to let you know straight up from the get-go here. In the last 2 weeks, there's been zero movement in the Langway division. So it looks like everybody's settled in all their spots right now. So the team who was in last place, the Living Skies Capitals, are still up top there. They're 13 wins, 3 losses for a very respectable 26 points. However, for the first time this year, they are not the first place team in the NCZ. They have been the first place team all year long. And to suffer another loss, this is 2 weeks in a row now, getting a loss. For the week, he was 1-1. The Capitals easily handled the Mustangs 7-0, but they lost the big game to the Bears. That was the big one. They lost that one 4-3.
Yeah, it was a close game. Al was in tough against a tough Bears team. So, yeah, there's not a lot of movement in the Langway division. It looks good for Al this week. I know we're probably going to be doing a look ahead.
Yep.
But so I won't spoil it there.
Well, in all honesty, when it came to games of the week, there really isn't any great games of the week. I always look for 2 teams that are, there is basically mostly favorites against lowlights this week, and everybody's going to beat up on everybody this one.
Yeah. I'll say this about Al's team. Of all the top teams, and I consider him a top team, he doesn't really have any superstars.
Nope.
But he's solid all the way through, like just absolutely solid.
Yeah, like Ovi's better than Backstrom, right? So, but he's got Backstrom. And like Hornquist, that guy's always getting points. Kapanen is started to play really well with the Penguins right now too as well. And Kerfoot, these are just solid guys. Brock Nelson, Oshie, another guy in that same vein. Yeah, they're all that just below the star of the team kind of guy.
Yeah. And I mean, he picked up Markstrom, which I thought was a great move. To get rid of Holtby and pick up Markstrom. He was injured there, but he's been one of Calgary's best players most of the time. So if you're running Price and Markstrom out there, you still have a chance. I know Price isn't the greatest this year. He's not the carry price we expect, but overall, Al's got one of the most solid teams. He's got some good prospects too. So
He does. This Drieger has really helped him out a lot, but waiver wire pickup. But yeah, he's been solid all year for sure. But I don't know if you watched this game or not throughout the entire week. It was like this the entire week. Like they were just all 7 categories were like even, except like look at that plus minus. I still can't get over that. I don't think I've ever seen a plus 35 for a week before. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
Sometimes you don't even get 35 points, let alone all of them be pluses.
But you know what? I'm kind of looking at a lot of these things here. I could have won a bunch of these categories with my 47 points. My assists were 37. I could beat them both.
Oh yeah, Terry, for your team, the future looks bright.
They need to not let me down, and they're letting me down. Pissed me off. However, you know who did have a good week was Nick, who had a really bad week last week, but he rebounded big time. So he stayed in second place. His record now is 11-3-2 and for 24 points, which means he closed in on Al just a little bit here. Great week. Beat the Islanders 5-1 and he beat the Outlaws 5-2. It was almost a shame that to waste a week like this on the Outlaws and the Islanders.
Well, you say that, but you put up 47 points, so I kind of needed a week like that to beat you.
He kind of did, and all I can say is thank God I was playing him because I knew.
Yeah. No, Nick's got a really good team. Like he's my pick to come out of the Langway division. Sorry, Al. I really like a lot of his players, and they're playing well. His goaltending is solid.
Oh, did you watch the podcast I had with Nick? I said
no,
how I didn't want to give up Patch Ready in that trade for Kucherov. And there's why. 8 points.
Yeah.
8 points.
Yeah, he's one of those streaky guys, and Vegas is playing really well. So
I like
Nick's team a lot, actually.
Yeah, no, it's good. But he had a super, super solid week. 53 points.
Yeah,
53. Definitely up there. Like I said, I think the record's in the 60s and the low 60s. I can't remember. It might have been the Mustangs the year that they won. But I think I remember seeing it once or twice, actually. Or I'm in another league too, so I could also be getting confused with that. So I'm not sure. So Nick actually needed to be good to beat me here, and he was, and you can see by the ticker line there. But no need to look at the other game for Nick because it was the Outlaws and he easily handled them. Yeah, looking good, Nick. And so Nick definitely has he still has a shot at the CDS, and he's got a good shot of winning the Langway division.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say so. All right, third spot, Colwood Rangers, all healthied up, looking good. Another good week. That's back-to-back weeks for Dean now. 9-6-1 for 19 points. 2-0 for the week. The Rangers beat Dono 5-2. That was a good game as well. I watched that one. And the Rangers easily handled the Bruins.
Yeah, again, it's another situation where I was having a good week and a guy I was playing just had a better week. The Rangers, they're healthy. Again, they're very solid. They got really good goaltending. When you have
Vasilevsky, you got him. You're rocking and roll.
Yeah, he's in a league of his own.
Yeah,
man. During the draft, when it got to Dean, I was begging him not to take Timmy Stützle because I was going to take him.
Well, we're in another league, one of Renee's, and he got Tim really high in that one too as well. So as Dean said, he has a man crush on him.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing with the Rangers. They made the trade with you for Burns and Lake, so they solidified their defense for the next couple of years.
Yep.
Very solid offense and really good goaltending. Like, if there's an upset, I could see someone like the Rangers making a big upset over someone.
That's what I said when you were talking about the top 5 there. I said I wouldn't forget the Colwood Rangers. They've got a well-rounded team here. You can tell by all the points how it's all evenly distributed. Really nice.
Yeah.
And of course, Vasilevsky, man, you got that guy. You're going to rock and roll with him. So yeah, a really good week for the Colwood Rangers again. That's back-to-back good weeks for them. And So down in fourth spot is the Port Elgin Wolfpack. They are 7-7-2 for 16 points, and they had a huge win this week. I'm not sure they understood how important it was for them to beat the Flames 4-2, but they did. They went 1-1 for the week though, as Sealand 8C actually had a really good week, and they beat the Pack 5-2.
Yeah, Wolfpack, they went 1-1, right?
Yep.
I missed that. Yeah, I mean, so they're on the bubble. In order to make the playoffs, they're going to have to beat me or the Flying Colors.
Right.
And I mean, they picked up Austin Matthews. They have Nate McKinnon, who when he comes back,
Yeah.
Anze Kopitar is. 2 years ago, I was going to write off Anze Kopitar, so that shows you what I know about hockey.
Oh no, I was gonna too. I thought, oh, he's the big boy. He looks like he's slowing down. No,
Yeah.
I was right where you are when it came to him. He shocked the hell out of me, and Brown too, for that matter.
Sure, yeah, and he's got Panarin on the bench.
Yeah.
I mean, Georgiev had a good year last year. He's not playing great this year, but his goaltending is solid. So,
Yeah.
you know, if the Wolfpack jumps up and makes them, I don't think they're in a playoff spot now. I think they're in the one just out of it.
Well, I can tell you what, Varlamov's doing the job for the Islanders. So
Yeah.
and Georgiev is more than good enough for your second guy. Like Varlamov's a starter. He's doing great this year.
So let me ask you, Terry. I think
Yep.
the Flying Colors and
Yep.
the Wolfpack are tied. Who
Yes.
makes the playoffs right now?
The Wolfpack makes the playoffs right now. And the reason being is because it's the one and only tiebreaker that we don't do wins first. And the reason being is because we always want to have equal from each division of 4 and 4, right? So that's one where it's like, so basically just look at Flying Colors and Wolfpack as having 16 points each.
Okay.
Since they got 16 points each, it's the Langway's position to keep that spot, right? So for the wild card to actually beat another division's team, they actually have to be, they have to beat them. They got to be up by 1 point.
Oh, you know what? I think I like that rule.
Yeah, it's a good rule. We want to keep it nice and even, you know, like, and spreading across. And don't forget, like, you're talking about who's going to come out of the division and whatnot, but don't forget, we got crossover, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, you never know. You could see an MLJ Capitals final.
Yeah. You know what? And I really like that. Someone talked about in the NHL, the playoffs should be formatted like this. Doesn't matter your division, doesn't matter your conference, 1 through 16,
Yeah,
and then you seed every time.
Do you ever remember it being like that?
I don't remember it. No,
I
remember back when it was the Norris division and Campbell Conference, and
I like the one. I like the 1 versus 16, but the first round was usually slaughters, but that was okay.
Yeah.
Then you just got to the top 8, right?
Yeah, I like the idea that the final could be anyone.
Yeah,
you know, it could be Leafs Habs, it could be New York, you know, something like that, like good rivalries.
Well, this is the 1 year that we get that, right?
Yeah,
it could be anybody. Right. Do we know who's playing who? I think the Canadian division is playing the Vegas one. Is it already preset for the playoffs? I think it is.
Honestly, if I do that, I've since forgotten it because I don't remember.
I think it's already set. Like, I think the Canadian division will be playing the Avs Vegas division in the semis, and the Central and the East will be going at it.
That sounds
so right. I don't think they're reseeding it. It wouldn't be fair to do it by seed either, if you think about it, because like Toronto's beating up on a bunch of Pee-wee teams, for crying out loud. Yeah. So you'd have to do it that way. But so the Wolfpack retained that spot. So basically, overall, it was a good week for Bo. But the most important thing for Bo was beating the Flames this week. That kept West at bay for him. And now this next team, who's in fifth spot, who was in fifth spot last week, just kind of blew me away this week, was Sealand AC. They had a great week. They are now 6-9-1 for 13 points, and they went 2-0. They beat the Wolfpack 5-2, and that's not easy. The Wolfpack's a good team, and Sealand beat the Lakers, the Harrison Lakers. Like, I don't know if you remember, 2 weeks ago he went 2-0, and I said, oh, you know, he's got a shot at the playoffs. And then last week completely shit the bed and went 0-2, and now beats 2 solid teams.
Yeah, well, when Grant came into this league and took over the main duties from Marsh, he said he was going to moneyball this league.
Ooh.
And I said, okay, Grant's a smart guy. And when I played Sealand HC and the Outlaws in the same week, I said something to the effect of, because it was close during the week, I said, I'm losing to 2 rebuilding teams. And he says, I'm not rebuilding, baby. Sealand HC is going for it. Which
Wow.
I think there's a little bit of joking there, but
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, anyone can win any week.
Oh
And
yeah.
the thing that Grant has going for him is up until the trading of Markstrom, he had very good goaltending.
Yep.
I think he got worse by picking up Holtby.
Oh yeah.
But I
I
mean,
didn't
I get why
understand
he
that
did
at
it.
all.
Yeah. He's got
I don't.
Bennington. He'll sign Shesterkin next year.
Yeah.
So I mean, his goaltending is set for the next few years.
Yeah, but
He's
look
got
at
some
his
good prospects.
game here. He had a really good game with the Pack, like 34 to 33.
Yeah.
Really good. He was lucky to Pack their save percentage was down. That helped out a lot too. But overall, it was fairly even right across the board. So that was a good game.
Yep.
All right. So it'd be interesting to see how he does this week. If he goes 0-2 or if he continues on 2-0. He's really not out of the playoffs because he's only 3 points behind the Wolfpack. That's 1 week, right? He could do it this week. All right, so in 6th place, we got the Macaulay Mustangs sitting at 4-11-1 for 9 points, and they had a good week. And when I say they had a good week, that means they went 0-2. They lost Pitter Patter 5-2, and that was a key game. That was a key game for the Mustangs. They're losing to Pitter Patter 5-2. I know Steve won't be happy about that one, and but they got thumped by the Caps 7-0.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're rebuilding, you kind of want to lose just because the higher the pick you get, the better it's going to be. Although I've looked at sort of the top players that are going to be drafted this year. I think if you get the top 15 pick, 14 or 15 are pretty good players. So.
And then Ryan Kelly, who's always always one step ahead, has got the draft after next year's draft. He figures the top 22 guys are going to be great.
Okay, yeah. Well,
so our RK is 2 years ahead already, and that's probably why he's always wheeling and dealing.
Well, and that's the year. I'm interested to see then when.
Well, that's Connor McDavid and Matthews in them, right? 2 years.
Yeah.
Hold on. Is it this year? No. Next year they both play, so it's the year after for both McDavid and Matthews. So yeah, I can't wait to see the tankathon for that one. That might be that might be the year to go for it because everybody will be tanking for.
Well, I think I'm not going to be in a position to tank that year. I don't think it's the year after that my players' contracts sort of run out and I got to figure out what to do. So
yeah.
I didn't time that very well, but what are you going to do?
What do? You live and learn, right? Get new strategies all the time. All right, now let's talk about the Bruins in 7th place. And man, they are on a roll. They have lost 12 in a row. Do we even look at their points? Yeah, I might as well see what they're up to. Where are they? Bruins, give me a Bruins game. There you are. So, but no, 10-point week.
No.
A 10-point. How do you do that?
I did not know that.
Who did I have who had 8 points? Pacioretty. I could have put Pacioretty up against the Bruins this week and probably come close to beating them.
Well,
I would have because I would have won both goaltending categories.
That's impressive.
That is impressive. That's an excellent tank job there for sure. So yeah, Bruins went 0-2. The Rangers thumped them 6-0, and the Oilers thumped them 6-1. 12 losses in a row. I would say that Bruins are pretty much locked for the bottom 4.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Future looks bright though. I would say he's got some good prospects. He's got 4 picks this year, so
yeah. Oh yeah, he's lined up. He's ready and raring to go, and it's a good draft too. So like he'll pick up some solid ones for sure. And of course, bringing up the rear, which JP has been doing for a while now. JP is a hard one to figure out because like for the last 3 or 4 weeks, he's been leading almost every game he's been playing, and then he just peters out at the end of the week and just loses. It's kind of weird how that's going. So the Quebec City Outlaws are 1 win, 14 loss, 1 tie for 3 points, and they are last in the NCZ all by themselves, going 0 for 2 for the week. MLJ had no problem dispensing of them 5-2, and Flying Colors easily beat them 4-2.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you want to lose, so he accomplished it.
But JP, look at this. It's not bad. Like his record is 114-1. He's got 924-5. That's awesome for a week. Put up 27 points, 26 penalty minutes. Like he's there. He's there, but he keeps losing all these games like that.
And his goaltending is actually really good. I mean, Korpisalo.
Oh yeah, I know.
His numbers don't speak it, but I mean, I really like him. And you're not Columbus. You're playing a defensively responsible team. So.
And plus he's got Rask. So
he's got Rask. I mean, Rask is always good.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt at all. At all. So yeah, JP, I think he'll do good in the playoffs for the first overall pick. But he's definitely I have him and Ryan as 2 guaranteed locks for the bottom 4.
Sure. I would agree with that.
So what do you let's go take a look at the standings of the Langley division here. So how do you think this is all going to shake down?
Well,
I see the Wolfpack making it.
Yeah, if I had to pick between the Flying Colors and the Wolfpack, I think I would go Wolfpack. I like the Rangers. Honestly, if my team were in the Langway and I was sitting with the same record as the Rangers, I would be afraid of the Wolfpack passing me.
Really? Yeah. Well, Bo's been playing really well. So basically, you're in what, 4th spot right now? So
I'm in 4th, and yeah.
Who would you rather go up against in the playoffs, Capitals or the MLJ? Well, I guess you picked MLJ to kind of win it, so I guess.
Yeah, I'd rather go against the Capitals.
Ooh, that'd be a nice rival for the playoffs, then.
Yeah.
Go get Al, kick his ass.
And he's only been a Capitals fan since they won the Cup, just so you guys all know that. So
that's right, dude. He used to like Ottawa, wasn't it?
No, he's always been a Capitals fan. I can't do that.
You were sorry. You were sorry. I was going with you on it.
Sorry,
I was going with you on it. Oh, we had him. That would have been awesome. That would have filled the old comment section pretty quick, I'll tell you. All right, so that's the Langway division. Al's looking strong. It looks like Al and Nick are going to battle it out, and I would imagine Bo and Dino are going to battle out for 3 and 4. Could be tough for the Rangers to get back into the mix with 1 and 2. So looks like those 2 sets of 2s are going to battle it out for positioning there for the playoffs, I would think. 1. All right, it's that time of the week. Once again, it's time for the fancy stats. I know it's Dan the man's favorite topic, and Garrow loves fancy as well, but we're going to get into it. What do you think of fancy stats, Ryan?
Like I said, fancy stats don't love me. So I watch a lot of baseball, and sometimes you'll see players say, fuck analytics. It's because they say you're not that great of a player.
I know that. So I guess that would be Garrow going, yeah, man, that's right. That's right. So get off my back. However, I'm still coming for Garrow tonight. He's just, and he's not getting away from me. But anyway, somebody who fell out of the fancy stats last week is made a return. Moves like the Jaggers back. They are 75, 41-5 for 153 points. Not bad, eh?
Yeah, where can I see this, Terry? I can't find it.
Okay, hold on a second here. I can easily do that for you here. I'm going to share a screen here. Bring this up. So as you go, so this is for anybody who doesn't know how this is work. You go to standings here. 2 things you can get. You get the breakdown. The breakdown here will tell you exactly how your record is right here and how you've done against every team for every week. To find the order of them, you just go to the power rankings. And you go to the power rankings, and as you go to the breakdown, you can see what position you're in. As you can see here in the breakdown, Dan is the best at that moment right there. Like, hey, I'm giving everything away here. But now you see where to go. Standings, breakdown, and power rankings. That's where you want to go to. All right, so we'll stop share here again. There we go. And we're back. Okay, so where was I? Whoa. Well, oh yeah, MLJ. So 74, 41, and 5. They're back in the top 5. What do you think of MLJ?
Honestly, I like the team a lot. Um, you know, just looking at it, like putting it on paper side by side, like I said, I think I put them third.
Third? Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. Well, Fantasy's got them in the top 5. Guess who fell 3 spots this week? Who do you think?
Harrison Lakers.
Yeah, Harrison Lakers dropped 3 spots all the way from top spot down into 4th place. Lakers are now sitting at 79, 32, and 9 for 158. So that's 5 more than MLJ.
Yeah, well, they had a tough week. You know, it happens. They do have a good team. So,
Like I said, I think one of the staples of Renee's teams and all the teams that I've ever played him is he always has good goaltending, and he's really getting let down by Hellebuck right now, or at least for that week. And Saros is injured, so
I
that
was
hasn't
really
helped him a lot.
surprised. Oh, sorry. I keep talking over you,
No,
Terry.
that's a go.
I was really surprised he didn't sign Demko this year. Even if he did it partway through.
Renee's a lot like me. We like to really ripen our our prospects to the max and get the absolute best years that we can. I try to cycle them through the point that I want to get to by the time I build up to go for my cup team, that I actually don't need my draft picks that year.
Yeah.
So I'll take those draft picks and trade them to become even better, because the reason I don't need draft picks, then I can sign these prospects that are coming through to huge contracts and that, right? So it's a bit of a balance there.
No, that's the great. I think the prospect aspect of this pool makes it phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because there's all these different strategies. You can have no prospects, you can have some prospects, you can have all prospects. I went through this 2 years ago. I had a lot of prospects. That was my plan. And like I follow a lot of hockey. I know a lot of hockey fans. I've never met anyone with a pool as in-depth as this.
Oh, that's cool. Love it.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'll tell you what, I did learn one lesson, and I learned the hard way. I did exactly what you did. I did the no players, and I had like 10 prospects in that. Except the problem was, and I didn't find it out for a couple of years until they started to develop, right? Well, they all came up at the same time.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the cap years for him. And then to top it off, I was shitty. So I had an excellent player coming in. So I wanted to give him a lot of cap years, but I had no cap years to give because everybody came at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I got to make sure these prospects are staggered. So they come, and I'll actually make a decision on whether to sign them because of the cap years. Like, I know I'd like to sign Soroka next year, but I don't think I'm going to. Because my cap years are going to somebody else, and I still have Bishop and Bobrovsky. So I'll go through one more year with them before I sign Sorokin for the big 5. Yeah. Right.
And that's another thing. I remember fishing with my first pick, and I talked to you, and you said, I'm not interested in it because I just don't have the cap years for another 5-year draft pick.
That's right.
And that's something you got to take into consideration. If you're going for it and you're going to, sell your picks off, well, you got to sell your picks off first.
Yep.
Because once someone like Ryan Kelly, I think if someone offered him a first-round pick, I don't even know if he'd want to take it right now because he's got 4.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I wouldn't if I was him. That's for sure.
Yeah. No, it's a very interesting pool.
Yeah. So you kind of got to have your prospects at different levels. Or like you said, like look at Wes, 28-2. That's usually his roster.
Yeah.
28 active and 2 prospects. And that's how he does it. Wes is now kind of doing the same things. Yeah. So there's a lot of different ones. Renee's a 21-23 active roster kind of guy. And that's kind of the way I'm sort of seeing my team kind of going. And then you got to take the good with the bad. If you get a bad injury year, that's too bad.
That's why I had 2 extra spots this year.
Yeah. I would like to, but then when you're building it, you want to give max years to those prospects or whoever's coming up so that they'll stick around a while, right? Yeah. There's lots of ins and outs what to do. Anyway, going up a spot into third place this year is our young gun Blake, Calgary Oilers, 81, 33, and 6. That's a pretty big jump there, even from the Lakers. And Lakers, remember, last week were in first. That's a 10-point jump on the Lakers.
We're talking about the Oilers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Third spot.
Yeah. I'm playing them this week, and yeah, they got a good team.
Yep.
They really do. They picked up, no, that was my other point. I was gonna say they picked up John Carlson. They might have picked him up this year, but I'm confusing it with my other pool. But yeah, overall, I mean, their goaltending's solid, their forwards are solid.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's definitely looking competitive. However, going up into second spot, and they went up a spot as well, is the Living Skies Capitals. Al, 88, 26, and 6 for 182.
Like I said, Al doesn't have really any superstars, but he's just absolutely solid all up and down. That's his overall record, 88, 26, and 2.
That's his overall record.
Huh, that's pretty good.
That's impressive. Fancy
for a guy who's never won.
for a guy who's only won $30.
Yeah.
$30.
I mean,
even if he doesn't get the CDS and just gets the division crown, he's almost going to triple his money winnings with that $50. Go Al, I'm cheering for you, buddy. Get some money for a founder. Yay. Yeah. Go Al, go.
No,
but,
Living Sky, we'll change it to Living Sky Senators.
Yeah. Did you notice a jump up though from the Oilers to the Capitals? Oilers at 168, Capitals at 182. Big
no,
jump
I didn't
there.
notice that.
Yeah, big jump. And so last but not least, that leaves us with the New Brunswick Bears. Dan, the man who hates Fancy. Fancy now has you as the Bremen Cup winner. That's her prediction. She has you at 91, 26, and 3 for 185.
91, 26, and 3. That's a solid record.
That's a solid record.
Yeah. And I mean, he's got McDavid.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a good trade.
I mean, Patrick Kane, I love watching this guy this year. I mean, this might be one of his best years yet.
Yeah, I know. He's unreal.
So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't pick myself anyway, but if I had to pick someone, I'm picking the Bears.
There you go, Dan. Donna's giving you the stamp of approval.
I'm doing it mainly to jinx you, Dan. It worked with Al. So.
It did work with Al too. It was awesome. Just as soon as you said that, boom, he was gone. So Dan the man is Fancy's pick for the Bremen Cup. Well done, Dan. Moving up a spot into first place. So our top five are the New Brunswick Bears at 185, Capitals at 182, Oilers 168, Lakers 158, and MLJ 153. So that's pretty much the way Fancy sees things right now.
So let me ask you this. If you go to standings and overall.
Yep.
No, sorry, standings and power rankings.
Yeah.
It has it slightly different. But that just goes based on pure record, right?
How so do you mean? It's
got Bears, Capitals, Oilers, Yoggers, Lakers as the top five.
Yeah, but take a look here. It's in the breakdown. The breakdown is 16, 15, 14, 12. 13 should be up here. And that's how you notice when somebody's out of place. Somebody like a certain person we'll talk about, even though they're, Yeah, okay. That's coming up later. But yeah, so take a look down that to get the order. See, right now, the Brewers got you ahead of the Wolfpack, but Fancy actually thinks that Wolfpack's a little stronger than you. Yeah.
That's why I hate Fancy.
No. So yeah, that's how you do it. So I hope everybody, if you didn't know that before, I hope you all know. If there's any questions anybody ever has me to ask to explain how to work the site, I just figured all you guys were a lot younger than me and would be way better at a computer than I am. So
there's a whole lot knew all this stuff with this site that I don't really know.
Yeah, and then
it's a good site.
It is. And then I got, don't forget, I got the commissioner tools as well to work with, all that stuff in there. So as well. All right. So that's where we sit. New Brunswick Bears predicted to win the Bremen Cup by Fancy.
We're just going to give them the cup. We'll start to draft, the end of the month for next year?
Sounds like a good deal to me. All right. So you know what time that means it's come to? It's come that
cool
time. No, are you a pretender or are you a...
Contender.
That's it.
I had to think there.
Well, guess what? We've got I'm putting in a new addition into the pretender category. Garrow is not going to be alone this week. And I've actually, I'm putting this team in there, and I'm not using the fancy stats to tell if they're a pretender or contender or not. I'm just going to make my own call on this and say that this team is 100% a pretender. And that team is the Courtney Islanders. It's the Courtney Islanders. I'm telling you right now, how can a team be 3-12-1, yet last week have 40 points, this week have 47 points? TK, you are a pretender. You're better than 3-12-1, but don't you get any better if you hear me. Yeah, stay down.
Self-loathing.
Yeah, self-loathing. What do you think? Are the Islanders a pretender?
Yeah, they're a pretender, and it's not nothing personal.
They should be higher?
Oh no, I mean they're not a contender.
No, but it just doesn't mean but they should be higher than where they are. That's why they're
looking at your team. Yeah, I would say so. I mean,
so I've been doing some dubious losing there. So
well, when you put a couple of guys who aren't playing in your lineup, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. It's just it'll skew the stats a little bit.
Doesn't really skew them because I do it for everybody.
Let me ask you this, Terry.
Yes.
You had the first overall pick.
Yes, I did.
You picked Alexis Lafreniere.
I did.
If you could do it again, would you do the same thing?
I most certainly would.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think he's going to be a great player.
I do too.
I don't know why teams take a kid who's 19. I mean, I get it this year because there's no minor leagues.
It's a weird one this year, but other times, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But yeah, I do think he's going to be a very good player.
But ask me this question. Am I going to sign him next year?
No, probably not.
No, I'll let the Rangers take the lumps. I'll take him when he's ready to go, for sure. And for me, I think a lot of these pools, one of the key factors is patience. Yeah. Patience is big, and if you got the patience to do it, like basically, I'm rebuilding 2 years, so one might look at it, I'm just taking $200 and throwing it away, but the rebuilding part of it is such a process in itself, and that I just love the strategy game about it and all that stuff, right? Involved in how to get there. And go ahead.
I'm not a patient man, and last year I had to trade players away to make room to sign Svechnikov to 5 years.
Yeah,
because he was playing well. I needed him in my lineup.
I got
him. And this year, I have a very good goaltender as a prospect, Cal Peterson.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And part of me wants to sign him.
He's playing great with LA.
Part of me wants to sign him, but I'm like, no.
Yeah, hold off.
That's the future.
Well, who do you got right now?
I got Carter Hart, Tristan Jarry, and Kevin Lankin.
Oh yeah, you're fine for this year. No need to sign him at all. Yeah.
And I'm a big Carter Hart fan. Like, he's not having a good year, but I really like him. Yeah. And I thought Tristan Jarry would be a little bit better. He's playing better lately, so I'm hoping he's
playing well against the Islanders, a fucker.
Well, I'm actually benching Carter Hart this week and putting Jarry back in.
Oh, really?
So I struggled with the decision, but
yeah. All right. Yeah, so I think we both agree the Islanders are a pretender. And of course, in the pretender category, I can't go without Garrow. I'm not going to put a lot of effort into this.
Which team is Garrow?
He's the Flying Colors.
Oh, he's the Flying Colors.
His record is 45, 65, and 10. And in the league, he's 8-8 at 5-5. So he's basically 1 point out of a playoff spot right now. He's 20 games under 500 by fantasy stats. So he's a pretender, man. There's no way he's an 8-8 team, and he should drop. But you know what, Dono? I'm running out of time to be right here. I've been shoving it down Garrow's throats for like a month now, over a month, but I'm running out of weeks for her to prove me right.
How many weeks do we have left?
Just 3. This one and 2 more.
And 2 others.
Yeah.
Whew.
I know, it's coming up fast. It's coming up real fast. So, and if anybody's thinking of making any kind of trades or anything out there like that, so yeah, it's coming up real fast. So yeah, I've got Garrow as as a pretender. What do you think? Right, wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue with his overall record. Like I said, if I had to pick him between the Wolfpack and him, I'd pick the Wolfpack, and they're both sort of on the bubble.
Yeah. I think the
So
Wolfpack's I think they're much stronger. Like the Wolfpack's over 500
yeah,
in the breakdown. But I also got another team, believe it or not. This is a bit of a surprise. And they kind of took me off guard as a pretender here. I didn't even notice. I knew they were weak, but I didn't realize that they were this weak. And I'm calling out Steve Grant as a pretender with
I
Pitter
thought you were
Patter.
actually going to say me, so I was like, ah.
No, I'm calling out Steve. Pitter Patter, they're 5-10-1. And do you know that they've got the worst fancy in the league?
When you say worst fancy, it means
Worst record?
really.
Yeah. Overall.
So they should be a lot
Here,
lower.
let's take a look. Here, we'll bring it up right now. Let's go. Let's get Steve. Okay, here we are. So let's go down to the power rankings first. We'll go to the power. Oh, we already were. So there's where's Pitter Patter? There they are. Look, number 1 in breakdown. Yeah. They're all the way down there. And so yeah. And so if we go to their breakdown, let's see what he's running at. Pitter Patter, where you be? 25, 88, and 7. So to be 5-10-1 is way out of whack.
Yeah.
It's way out of whack. He should be way down with JP. Down at like 114 and whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And that's the thing, Terry. I wish I had more time to do like a deep dive to look at, you know, with like my team, for example. Am I playing teams that are rebuilding?
See, that's one of the things that skews the fancy stats a bit, right?
Yeah.
Is that right there.
Now, like for me personally, I feel like I've played good teams and bad teams. I feel like I'm right in the middle. So I think it's not skewed, but I mean, you might luck out with a schedule against people who are mostly rebuilding.
Yeah. Yeah. You never know. You never know how it's going to pan out that way. So, yeah, I always find that a useful tool. It lets you know what's really happening out there. So I never get fooled by the real standings or the ones in our league because they don't really tell you. But like I said, almost every single year, it's always balanced out by the end.
Right.
And it's just not balancing out with Garrow. Garrow, you're a phenomenon.
Getting the most out of his players.
Absolutely. And so anyway, that's the 3 pretenders I got for the week. And I don't really have any contenders. Everybody pretty much is in the spot that they should be at. So everybody's pretty much where they need to be. Everything's kind of straightened out in line. Like I said, we're only like 3 weeks away from playoffs now. So should be an exciting time. So we still got one more thing to take care of this week, and we're going to come right back with games of the week. All right, so we're back for games of the week. And to be honest with you, at first glance, I didn't really see a whole lot of games that I thought were of big interest. Like in the last couple of weeks, we had the first place second, the first place first, and all those. There were some really great matchups. But if we're looking at some matchups here, I guess we could be looking at the Rangers versus MLJ. That's a 2 versus 3. That should be an exciting game.
Yeah, of all the games I looked at, that was the most intriguing to me because, I mean, moves like Yager's got a really good team and they've been playing well. But of all the teams who aren't at the top of their division, I really like the Rangers. So they can make moves. They're right behind them. So I think that would be really interesting.
Yep, that would be a good one for sure. We also got another one with yourself and the Calgary Oilers, the young gun Blake. That should be an interesting game too. You could still make some moves in the standings, and so could Blake.
Yeah, well, if Jack Eichel gets himself out of his little rut, it would help me out. But yeah, looking at the Oilers, they have a very good team. I think I have a decent team, so I would like to make a statement this week.
Yeah,
I just hope my players cooperate. And because we're in the same division, I'd very much like to get a win here. So I always watch my games closely, but
I got to be honest with you here. I just watched Jack Eichel's last 3 games, and I haven't seen a more disinterested player in a long time. He he needs out. He
And
needs
I've been
out.
watching a
He
lot of
needs out of
Eichel.
Buffalo,
Yeah.
man. Big time.
I've
Big
been
time.
watching a lot of Eichel since I picked him up. And last year he looked really good.
Yeah.
And this year it's
He
been,
looks like I want out of here.
yeah.
That's what he looks like to me. In the 3 games that I saw him, he was pissed.
Yeah.
He wasn't putting in a whole lot of effort either.
No, and the thing is, if you want to get traded, what you do is you go to the GM and you tell them, but you do it quietly and then you play your ass off
That's right. That's right.
because you'll be more likely to get traded if you're putting points on the boards, not if you're looking all sluggish and whatnot.
Yeah, I agree. I agree for sure. And I guess if you if you might like to watch a snail's pace and watch 2 guys trying to throw a game, you might want to keep an eye on the Bruins and Mustangs. That one should be an awesome, exciting game in a whole completely different way.
Yeah, well, we didn't see a record for most points with 53 with Yager, but we might have seen a record
10.
for fewest points with 10.
That was good. You know, he had like 3 points. I think it was on Friday. I kid you not. It was like, this is amazing. Amazing.
Well, I kind of thought his team was the COVID quarantine unit. He's got so many people with the injury thing next to them.
He had 11.
Yeah.
11 on there. I was laughing my head off. That was awesome. That was awesome. Yeah, so it should be interesting. My money's on, I think the Mustangs will beat the Bruins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just looking at number of players actually playing.
I don't think Keith can hide enough people to compare to
No.
what RK can do. So, yeah, it'll be tough. But I know Keith will give him a run for his money.
Yeah.
All right, Donald. Well, that's about all we got for this week on the podcast. Is there anything you want to throw in there? Maybe a trash a jab or two at somebody, or just say, hey, it was fun?
No, honestly, Terry, I really love this pool. You got a great group of guys there. And Al.
I think we do.
Yeah. I really enjoy this. And the fact that you're doing these videos for the trades and whatnot, like phenomenal. I love it.
Trying to get a little bit of class, a little realism kind of deal thing. So I've had nothing but fun with it. That's for sure. It's been awesome.
No, and
make sure. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think of the fact that we have money per transaction that goes into the pot. I mean, I want to win. It's a lot of money, right?
Absolutely. I would be happy just to win Ryan Kelly's transaction fees.
You don't get a cut. You don't get 10%.
That would be a big winning for me, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I would tell you, you should look forward to next week's podcast. I got Dean Molberg of the Colwood Rangers on. He's a great friend of mine. We played a lot of baseball together. Dean was a junior A hockey player. For a good time. Check out next week. I want to thank you, Donna, for coming out and being on the podcast with me all the way from Nova Scotia. I'm from the Clan MacLeod, right?
Are you really?
Oh yeah, the Clan MacLeod.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Caper, Clan MacLeod.
Yeah, well,
Large ton of Jesus.
I love Cape Breton. I absolutely
crazy people, people. Absolutely. Anyway, I want to thank you for being on. So, and everybody else out there, I want you all to take care. So have a good time. Good night and peace out.